Hello and welcome back to Greg's Game Room. Now, it occurred to me the other day that I had a couple of unedited magazine memories videos that I had never shown you guys. So I thought, heck it, I'm going to go ahead and edit these videos and talk to you about some of the memories that I had from these electronic games magazines. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started.
I don't know if you can hear outside, but I got crickets out there. All right, so this is the December 1984 edition of Electronic Games Magazine. Again, one of my classic games magazines that I had back in the day. Full of Atari, full of Coleco, full of Intellivision. Let's jump into this one. Oh, I love this little guy, this little robot guy. Confessions of a Glitch Buster. Here's a Mr. Do advertisement from Datasoft. Of course, this would be for the home versions of the game. I don't know that I've ever read any of these pages. These are just kind of like the news pages right here. It's kind of fun. I didn't really read too much of it though. I was too busy excitedly getting into the review section stuff. I am so glad I do not have an IBM PC Junior because look at this thing. Who would want to type on a keyboard like that? That's the original keyboard for the IBM PC Junior. And now I have a train out there. I guess I can't really talk too much because, you know, I had an Atari 400 and all it had was a membrane keyboard, which was horrible. The Atari 800 XL computer. Quiet train, I'm trying to film here. My computer of choice after my 400. This was my workhorse, my Atari 400. And one of these days I'm going to get it out of storage and hook it all up. Maybe I'll make a video about that. What is this computer right there? It's like an apricot or something right up here. This is one of those like Apple knockoff computers, like an apricot or something like that. Can't remember what that was called. I just thought it was interesting. 2 well-kept secrets that every 5200 owner should know about. Number 1, the Master Play 5200 interface, which allows you to play. I believe you could hook up a 2600 controller. You had to have both in there at the same time, because you needed the 5200 keypad in order to start games and things like that. But man, for $16, heck yeah, that'd be definitely worth it. Meteorites, which was kind of a third-party Asteroids clone, one of the few third-party games for the 5200. Smurf Paint and Play. So what? You just paint landscapes for the Smurfs to walk around on? I don't know. Atari plans to produce several high-powered new computers in the next year, including 8, 16, and 32-bit microprocessors. Whoa. This would have been before, does it say Jack Tramiel took over? Yeah, okay, so this is now that Jack has taken over Atari and is talking about the new set of computers that they're going to come out with. Wow, I didn't even catch that back in the day. Favorite games over here, most popular video game cartridges. Here's an Epic Summer Games advertisement right over here. This kid has won all the gold medals. He's got them all. New 2600 strategy guide. How come I don't see any more Atari 2600 strategy guides in the bookstores? Because all the games have come out that are going to come out for it? I'm an owner of the Atari 5200. Was a little upset when I heard about Atari 7800. Will this make my 5200 obsolete? Yeah, everything gets obsolete at some point. So yeah. Well, here we go. Gifts for gamers. How about some floppy disks? 5 1/4 inch floppy disks. Because they need those. Definitely need those. And here's the robot. I just love this guy. I don't even know what he does, but it just looks really super cool. Verbot. I think you could talk to him. Hulk has gone soft. Quest Probe. Hulk. Hulkamania. Well, I guess that's a different kind of Hulk, but yeah, there was Hulk games back then. Bet you didn't know that. Oh yeah, this is a pretty neat story about how you can like make your own games. Like here's Pinball Construction Set, the house that Jill built. I never heard of that. I remember this one, Movie Maker, where you could kind of generate your own little movies and stuff. That's pretty cool. These are kind of like do-it-yourself games. Barbie. Yeah, okay, Barbie. Oh man, look at this! Look at the face of the cowardly lion right there. That's hilarious. Here's an exciting game book for everyone with a Commodore 64. Well, yeah, I guess everybody had Commodore 64s except me. This is interesting because this says it's Caverns of Kafka, but it's really Satan's Hollow. I don't know why they screwed that up. This is an interesting little piece of history. Raid on Bungling Bay, designed by Will Wright, who you may know as the famous designer of the game called SimCity. He was making this game called Raid on Bungling Bay where he was designing all the terrain and everything, and he thought that it was way more fun designing the terrain than actually playing the game. So that's how he came up with the idea for SimCity. So this magazine had, a story on a game that basically was the predecessor to the game that started Will Wright's career. I think that's pretty interesting. Now here's Satan's Hollow. They got the graphics backwards. That's always cracked me up when they did that. They messed up the graphics. Rescue on Fractalus for the Atari 5200. That's a fun game. Pixie Pete there. That doesn't look like a Dig Dug clone, does it? Here we go. Star Wars for the Atari computer. I wanted that game so bad. I never got it. I got the 2600 version, which turns out that was kind of a rare game, so that's good. But I always wanted the 8-bit Atari 8-bit version because it looks so much like the arcades. It looks much like the real thing. One-on-one basketball. Dr. J and Larry Bird. Archon. Kind of a neat chess game. Passport to Adventure King's Quest. Of course, Roberta Williams is famous for making King's Quest. There's a Sega ad with lots of different games here. Spy Hunter, that's not a Sega game. Why is Spy Hunter showing here? Tapper, Up and Down, Congo Bongo, Zaxxon. Spy Hunter is a Bally Midway game, it's not a Sega game. Oh, okay, so this is the Bally Midway side, and that's the Sega side. Okay, I get it. Pitfall 2 for the Commodore 64. I have it for the 2600. I love that game. I literally played that game so much that I was dreaming about it when I was trying to fall asleep. Anybody want to get Montezuma's Revenge? Sounds like a fun game. Actually, it is. It's a really good game. Montezuma's Revenge for the C64. That says it's for the computer version, but I'm pretty sure that's the 2600 version. And then there's the Colecovision version right there. This is a really, really cool game. Multi-screen adventure game. Kind of reminds me of Metroid, actually. Oh, the microcomputers cometh. Again, we're showing off the Atari computers. I wish I had a 1200 XL. Those did not last very long because I think there was something weird about the operating system on them. And they just decided let's just make the 800 XL instead, which is this one right there. That's pretty much my whole setup right there, the 800 XL and the 1050 floppy disk drive. And there's an Apple IIc right there. Apples, I always thought of them as a little bit too expensive. Oh, here we go. I like this. Atari 800 XL, the path of a legend. Yep, the legendary 800 XL. And then we got the IBM PC, which look at how terrible that keyboard is. That is like the worst looking keyboard I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what they were thinking there. There's the Commodore 64, probably the most popular microcomputer from that era back in the day. I'll give it up to the Commodore. It beat Atari. Atari's better, but it beat them. Electronic gaming and the handicapped. Game controllers for the handicap more than just toys. Oh, that is so cool. I think this is really cool, and I know that Ben Heckendorn has come up with a one-handed Xbox controller specifically for handicapped people. So I think that's really cool that the inclusion of handicapped people into playing games. I just think that's a really cool. And then we get to this guy. What the heck? Too hot to handle. The Archonomicon, Strategy Guide to Archon Wisdom. Never really got into Archon. I always wanted to, though. There's the Return of the Jedi arcade game. Really love that game. Of course, I don't know where they got this picture of Wicket. Obviously, they just, didn't have Photoshop back then. But whatever they did to put Wicket in front of that game, it's pretty cool. Three Stooges video game. Pretty neat. That's a pretty neat game. There's magic in them thar mountains. I guess it's an arcade at Magic Mountain Amusement Park. Programmable arcade. I spent a lot of time looking at these pages just because I love looking at these graphics. 7800 Joust, Centipede, Wing War, The Heist. Look at this game called The Heist. That's pretty cool. I have no idea what's going on in this here game, but it looks pretty neat. Wing War from a Magic. That I don't remember that game. I guess that never came out. Oh, it says it's for the ColecoVision. Frogger 2 3D from Parker Brothers. Wouldn't it be better if they had a game called Frogger 3 3D? Can't believe they had a sequel to Frogger. It was only on the home systems. They didn't have an arcade version of it. Will video games hurt my TV? Well, I guess if you leave the same game on there for too long, it'll burn an image in your TV. That's kind of hadn't been a problem in a long time. Please, oh, here you go. This may be where I first learned about the Adventure Easter egg. This person says, please, please, please tell me how to find the Easter egg in Adventure. But as I'm reading through this, the author of this answer here does not tell you how to do it. EG holds firm, however, in our promise to Steve didn't come up with that game, to never reveal how the egg may be found, but we'll give an EG t-shirt to the first reader who identifies. Okay, well, I'll give you a t-shirt if you can tell me who the designer of Adventure is, and it sure isn't Steve Wright. What are the virtues of a monitor over a TV set? It's clear. Why won't System A software run on my System B hardware? Because it's different. Oh, there's the Intellivision. I need to get an Intellivision. I thought it was weird that the cartridges plug in on the side. Oh, I wish I had this little Snoopy game. That looks like so much fun. All these little LCD games. Pretty neat. Joystick options here for your Atari. Now your best score is just the beginning. It's kind of neat though that they've got buttons on each side, or this kind of weird looking thing with a big button on the front because they're too lazy to create two buttons, just one. Okay.
All right, well, what we have here is the February 1985 issue of Electronic Games magazine. Now, this is kind of that strange time between Atari and Nintendo when magazines didn't know what to do, so they started, putting computer stuff in their magazines. Some of the worst covers I've ever seen came out of this. I think this magazine in this time period. Here's the Ghostbusters game for the Commodore 64. This is like the first time I've ever seen Ghostbusters on a computer console before. I thought it was kind of cool that it was Activision that was doing a movie license here. Of course, this would later appear on the NES and, strangely enough, the Atari 2600. To me, February means true love, red satin-covered candy hearts, and cards full of hugs and kisses. Okay. I thought this was funny that they had this fast loader cartridge for the Commodore 64. I don't recall any Atari version of this fast loader cartridge because, the Ataris were already pretty darn fast as it was. Oh, here you go. This is the fast loader thing. Tired of waiting forever for your programs to load? Look at this poor guy. He just can't get that game of Impossible Mission to load. An impossible mission to get the game to load. Okay, it's a bad joke. I'm terrible at ad-libbing jokes. I don't think that's actually Attack of the Mutant Camels. I believe that it says AMC right there, Attack of the Mutant Camels, but that doesn't look like the game. That looks more like Grid Runner to me. Look at these crazy joystick things. Who would actually buy one of those? If you have one of those, let me know down below. It just seems weird that you would have just a joystick holder there. Amiga Computer, the company that developed an inexpensive personal computer that wowed everyone who got an advanced look, has been purchased by Commodore International. Ooh, okay, so that's kind of the initial beginnings of the Commodore Amiga, where they bought the Amiga company. Most popular video game cartridges: Pitfall 2 for the Atari 2600, Miner 2049er for the 5200, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons for the Intellivision, and Mr. Do for the Colecovision. Interesting. I own a now defunct Vectrex system. I've enjoyed your articles on it and was wondering if you could publish more reviews on Vectrex products. The answer? Eric, you summed up the situation in your second paragraph. Vectrex has stopped production, so guess what? We're not doing any more reviews. If you can't buy one, we can't review any games for it. Oh, light pens. I had an Atari light pen. It's pretty cool. And I shouldn't tap on the table like that, I know. Sorry about that. Atari Touch tablet. I guess that's kind of a precursor to current graphics drawing tablets. Atari promised consumers that it would be developing a light pen for home use. Now the company has finally produced a low-cost pen with a wide variety of features. Yeah, I have it. It's pretty cool. There it is, the Atari light pen. Came with a cartridge called Atari Graphics to allow you to draw pictures. I used to draw a lot of pictures on that. So you think you got the best Frogger and Zaxxon? Sorry. Introducing Frogger 3D and Super Zaxxon. We're so much better than those original games. Yeah, we're better. We're better than you. First look at Commodore's new 2 new microcomputers. I want to say these are slightly valuable now if you can get your hands on one of these. Commodore's new C16 with peripherals. Did they just like reuse the same case for everything back then for Commodore? New cartridge design for the Plus 4 and C16. That's kind of ugly. I do like the design of this Plus 4 though. Oh yeah, Dragon's Lair for the Colecovision, or actually the Atom computer. I remember playing this on my friend Les's Atom computer. Obviously nothing like the Laserdisc arcade game, but still pretty neat. These screenshots always crack me up because they're like hand-drawn with all the little swooshes and everything. You know, somebody should actually make a version of River Raid that looks exactly like this, that you can play with literally all the swooshes and everything. That would be cool. Here's a game called Transylvania. You know, I don't think I even really noticed this back in the day, but now that I've become a big Castlevania fan, this kind of stands out a little bit. That's kind of a funky looking Dracula there. I want to suck your blood. Boulder Dash, pretty popular game back in the day. Oh, this one cracks me up. Break Street, so there's like a break dancing game. No thanks. Camps for computerists. Here's what every parent and CompuKid needs to know about camps. When's the last time you heard the word CompuKid? This looks cool. Problem solving session at National Computer Camp in Simsbury, Connecticut. Got that little robot thing there. That's pretty cool. I would have been into that back then. Also, archery. Now this is an advertisement, but it's very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. It's an advertisement for the arcade version of Marble Madness by Atari. And look who the developer is and what he says here. I designed a game I'd want to play so you'd want to play it. And look at his name. Mark Cerny, designer, programmer. Does anybody know who Mark Cerny is? If I'm not mistaken, he is the head of Sony Computer Entertainment. So he's kind of a big deal now. But look, he started out making a game called Marble Madness for Atari. Makes you want to play Marble Madness right now, doesn't it? Ah, Tycoon is one hot game commodity. Yeah, because you can do stocks and stuff like that. Pork Belly's histories and learn about stocks and how not to dress. I feel bad for this guy. I really feel bad for this guy having to dress up like this. Yeah, I've become kind of a fan of UK gaming. In particular, Jeff Minter, who wrote Lamatron and Attack of the Mutant Camels and Tempest 2000. He's from Wales, I believe. Sheep in Space. This looks like something that he would have come up with. I'm wondering if I can find his name in here somewhere. Yeah, it says Hover Bubber's Revenge. Hover Bubber is definitely a Jeff Minter game, so Sheep in Space, that's got to be one of his as well. Yeah, in fact, it says right there, duh, it says Llamasoft right there at the bottom. Always been a big fan of Jeff Minter. Okay, here we go. Here's the Super Action Baseball for the ColecoVision. Oh, here we go. Here's a game called Private Eye by Activision with this cool looking Private Eye guy here. Oh, here's that River Raid graphic again. Aqua Attack. It's kind of a cool name for a game. River Raid, of course. Defender. Insert coin here. Karate Chap. One of the earliest fighting games. Ha! Wah! Ha! Arcade America, Malibu Arcade, Grand Prix. Now that looks like the most family-friendliest arcade you've ever seen, isn't it? It's perfectly clean. There's no trash on the floor. There's no flashing bright lights. There's no Journey playing in the background. It's just like the perfect family arcade. Isn't that nice? Such a nice arcade. Wholesome for the whole family. Oh, this is cool. Look at this Coleco Super Action Controller. I was kind of jealous of this. I thought this was really cool looking. Although, looking back, it might have been really uncomfortable to play with that thing, especially with those buttons down there on the bottom. Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. Oh, look, there's the Atom computer. That's the computer that I would have played Dragon's Lair on a tape, actually. It's kind of funny. Things to do while the Commodore loads. Have a family. That would probably do it. These are kind of cool. The little LCD games. This one is by Pop. That says Pop, but this is Hattori. Oh, it's a Pop. It's a Hattori Pop. That's it. Yeah, that's definitely it. Okay, now this is a dangerous game to have actual real pieces because you know you're gonna lose those little backgammon pieces unless they're magnetized. Even if they're magnetized, you're still gonna lose those pieces. Yeah, I have chess games like this where I've lost pieces. So there you go. That is the February 1985 edition of Electronic Games magazine with this poor broke guy here on the cover. I don't even see this half. All I see is this guy right here who's broke. Alright, well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me blather on about my memories from back in the day. If you did enjoy it, then please leave a comment down below. Let me know. I might do more of these magazine memories videos, but you never know. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. It's probably not as good as the first one.